And it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions. Welcome back, everybody. Heat Tears coming up, and with me in the booth now is Solar again.
Yes, hi, hello. I am back. It's been a while since I've been in the booth. It was, well, I suppose, in terms of like calendar days, it's been a while, but I've only really skipped one race, which was the opener in Melbourne, because we were together for the season closing out last season. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, and you being racing now as well.
Yes.
Being enjoying yourself in a nice points finish today. So
Yeah.
couldn't be better here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I could have got a little bit more out of that one. A few mistakes are on the closing laps when I was chasing Sean. I maybe could have gave myself a slightly better chance on those final two laps. I could have maybe even been past him by that final lap and gave Vexel and Mikey, something to think about. But I'll take a point out of that one. And it's a steady improvement because in Melbourne I was P11, P10 this time, so upward trend.
Yeah, by the end of the season there's gonna be the win, so yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
It was a very nice race to watch, like even like especially in your group there, you had like a lot of fights going on. It seems like this track is very well raceable side by side.
Yes, yeah, it is quite a wide track. I think it's quite forgiving through most of the corners as well. Even some of the hairpins, it's quite easy to cut back. And especially like you say, going side by side, it's quite easy to give each other a lot of room without risking track limits. Because I think Kingsman pointed it out. I was just watching some of the final laps back there, but an entire challenger race and no one with any penalties. I did get track limits twice, but no penalties right throughout. It says a lot.
I mean, apart from the 1-2 big incidents, it was like a very clean and enjoyable race. I don't know. Reading Mikey in the chat as well there, like, yeah, great performance, honestly. I thought you were here last week as well, but it is a good debut then, well in the points. It seems like we have a very good upper midfield going on in the middle of Challenger there. And of course, Monsieur Genier here, who is driving the Alpine here, after he, slipped with a thumb and pitted for Inters instead of Hearts and kind of thrown away his own race. He would have been well in that group as well. So,
very unfortunate for him.
Curious to see if we can at least get a decent performance out of this race here. We're on board with Kingsman, who has just been in the casting booth to set the first lap of this qualifying. And if I can believe him, we are expecting low 130s by the end of it. However, given that it's cloudy, track might be a little cold, so not optimal conditions. Not sure how much that factors in. Also, like, I don't know if it's just the game sometimes not loading correctly, but is that raindrops?
Ooh, I can't tell. No, maybe I'll tell if I can go direct on board. No, I don't think so quite yet.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes I'm hallucinating them, but yeah. Maybe there is gonna be rain, maybe there isn't. There is at least 4 drivers who are not super eager to get out on track yet, so I assume it's not an urgent thing you have to do because there is rain incoming. But yeah, Kingsman gonna set the first example here. 131.6 is decent. I think would have been P3 in Challenger. And
yeah, sounds about right.
I'm not mistaken, we're gonna see the real benchmark in a bit though. Rapid is about to cross the start-finish line as well.
Yeah, and it does. It looks fast. It looks very, very fast. Yeah. It is a 134 as well. Wow. Again,
just
I mean,
behind,
we've said this before, we'll say it again. Yeah, Jimsky really not far off, 400s off of that one, but we do tend to look too rapid for those sort of benchmarks of what we should be expecting from Challenger. He's normally the one to beat.
Yeah, on one lap, I think Rapid is
at least in qualifying. Yeah,
player favorites. I think he even said it like that the main I wouldn't say drawback, like, but from the top ends that he is used to from other leagues, the main difference here is that people can't match one lap pace. The rest, I mean, yeah, in the 3 seasons he's been around, he's only had 1 championship, if I'm not mistaken, so he's clearly not winning everything easily by himself. Of course, the last one didn't drive much, and was like very unfortunate the season before, I think.
When he was, exactly. At times when he was on the track, he did find himself in a few incidents, and I think last season as well was a very strange one where it seemed like most of the time the lead runner in a race would then come into some sort of trouble, and next thing you knew, Seagull was first across the line. Just played a safe race from like P3 or P4 or something like that, and next thing you know, he'd won. And it was Seagull in the end, and he just managed to keep himself out of trouble. Where, I mean, don't get me wrong, Seagull usually has really, really strong pace, and he's always going to be at the top end. But I would argue again, he's maybe not the fastest, but he is one of the most intelligent drivers that we have in the league.
Seagull is like just very calm-minded, has good pace. I think he is. I'm not sure if his time trials are the second best, but I think like from race pace and stuff, he is slightly ahead of Jumsky. I'm not sure where to put Hussein in the mix here, but maybe
because he's another one that's sort of in the rapid sort of conversation.
I think
where
he's
he
like
is
inconsistent. Sometimes he's like really on Rapid's level and bang on good, and sometimes he's just like in P5 and just hanging around there, not really anywhere. But yeah, curious to see where he can go tonight here. As he is about to set his first hot lap. Purple sector 1, but I guess in this game this doesn't really mean too much.
The Encha is invalidated. Let's try to figure out who's in.
Yeah, I think that makes Hussein the only one even on a hot lap. Mofa was.
It looks like he's in a lot of. Or he's used a decent amount of ERS. No, he's low on fuel.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, he has set a lap time. I don't think you have time to be on your second run already. Probably on his in lap then. He's gonna give Hussein at least
one hell of a tow. Yeah. Right down that sort of main straight on sector 3. Sector 3 I found to be the trickiest to really pick up some time, because you've got that really sharp left-hander in the long right, massive DRS straight, and then that hairpin back, and it's so easy. You get like a really good time out of that whole section, and then just that last quick left-hander, it's so easy to get track limits just in that last sort of turn before you touch the DRS again. 1 and 2 for me was easier to pick up time on, but for me, I would always it was sector 3 that I would lose time.
Yeah, the right-hander is, I can remember it from like old games, it's so hard to keep traction out of there, because you really like almost have to step fully on the pedal to really get going there. And it's like with the slight banking and stuff, it's just not easy to keep your car yeah, fully under control there. And yeah, if you just like, if you have to lift or like let go of steering and stuff, you lose so much time. Same with like
and
the very
looks
last
like
turn.
she's pushing on low fuel.
Yeah, and she's gonna set her first lap here, I think, driving additional after the ballot. Time's not looking horrible, I think, but it's gonna be 1.5 seconds behind the pace, maybe. Oh yeah, pretty much exactly. So
Yeah.
10th for her for now.
You've been at the fortune tellers recently, too. That was pretty spot on there. Just what, 200s out in terms of prediction there. Well, I mean,
Yeah, next time I'll predict it on thousands.
018. Yeah. Just don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, or people are going to think that we're, making it up. Or it was a lucky guess. You need to like build them into the what seems unbelievable, but with that level of consistency and getting it right, they just start to believe it by that 1000th.
Jimsky is not on the quickest hot lap. I'm not even sure if he is still going. I think he has just... Oh, he's going. He's not gonna improve much. Probably gonna dive straight back into the pits. Well, what else is going on? Nitro is on another
Purple
hot lap
sector
here.
one from Rapid. Okay.
Okay.
It's only by less than 1/10 of a second, but it was still purple.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rapid can go like 2 to 3 tenths quicker here on a perfect lap for him, and maybe. So yeah.
Purple sector 2. He's 1/10 up.
Okay. Not sure if you can go into the 29s here even, but we may see.
If anyone can do it's going to be Rapid.
Yeah. Not sure where Seagull is. Seagull might be coming in towards the end of his hot lap as well. Gonna swap to him after Nitro's done here. Nitro up to P14. Seagull with a purple sector 2. Not sure if it's like an actual purple.
130.1 Rapid. Good God.
Yeah, that is more like...
That's 3 purple sectors as well, because that was a whole near 3/10 gain. He was only about 1/10 up by sector 2, so absolutely smashed that entire thing out of the park.
Seagull is looking more like something towards the 31 flat. Oh, actually, no, it's looking way better. E2 for him here, just behind Jimsky. Had a very good last turn here. Almost not losing any speed, taking the curbs. So, oh, who else is going? Janeman is probably going to come into the pits here. He has improved before this lap though. Kingsman has improved slightly, he's now P6. Emils I still expect some slight improvement from, even though the first time was a good benchmark regardless. Butcheroo here is gonna go into the pits. What is with Cherry? Is that enough for ERS? I don't think he's on a hot lap anyway, so... Who to watch?
Hard to tell, honestly.
I think he has too little ERS to be on an actual hot lap. That's 0.2 down, so yeah, maybe. He's made some sort of mistake. I mean, there's yellow flags up ahead. If those go away, be cool. Okay, 4 minutes of a timer. I'm not sure if it's just better at this point to go into the pits one more time and then just start fresh. Oh yeah, he will, absolutely. He's on full throttle and he's 160 kilometers per hour. He's probably out of fuel, so yeah, that's gonna be the move for him. What is Engineer doing here?
He's
Invalid lap.
invalidated. Yeah, I think the only one now that is on a or about to be on a push lap anyway.
Yeah.
Looks to be Emil. He's come out of the pits. He's now on an out lap.
Yeah, Cherry is going in.
There
is a Ferrari that
is
that's Jimsky actually.
Hussein, Jimsky, Hussein. Then it'll be Tiencha and then Emil.
Yeah, Mofa also just started a hot laps now in turn 2.
Oh yes, so he has. Right now.
But yeah, I think
I'll keep an eye on him.
We have not seen Jimsky yet. Probably having better chances. Well, I don't know if he has good chances of improvement, but he's definitely got work to do to cover against
Bala's
Seagull.
got to improve if he keeps it up. He's already gained 2.5 tenths on his own time, so
yeah,
he keeps on with that.
He has abandoned his lap after slipping away on the exit of turn 2.
Bala looks at least set to go above Nitro, but not enough. Oh, it's very much enough to break into 131s now, and could well go ahead of Lauda. It's over half a second up.
May see. Rapid has just retired. Probably lost it
he's
somewhere.
done enough.
Or is he just in the pits? Okay,
he's just in the pits. He's more than done enough, I think, for pole.
Yeah, 130.1 is pretty crazy lap, honestly, for 2 attempts.
But the same gap that Fanta had to the Challenger grid, really. Very similar.
Mofa? 0.9 improvement. Yeah, huge.
Improvement up to P11, a 131.4.
Emil's is down by 0.04 after the first sector, but that's not too horrible. Very crowded behind him. There's a bunch of people who are just starting their outlaps. So maybe good to get that out of the way right now.
Tiencha's down on her time by about 1/10 of a second. If she can get a good final sector here, she may be able to make that up. Still really got to make up about 2.5, nearly 3 tenths to gain any positions for the center grid. And that seemed a little bit tight coming through that hairpin. Yeah. That's
pits, right?
Yeah, looks like it. Nearly ploughed into the wall on her way in. Emil is up. He's now managed to pull back about 1/10.
And he's gonna cross the line.
In the 130s. Yeah, it is in the 130s. 2 tenths and up to P6 from about P10, I believe.
Yeah, just behind Janeman again. No, he was in P9. What? He was behind Switcheroo. He had a 131 flat. Right. So, yeah. Oh well, who is still out? Oh, Hussein is a second down. And out of fuel. That is pain. But at least he's in P4 for now. I think he's not going to be too unhappy with it. Jimsky a 10th down after the first sector. But still on the run. Tiencha retired in the pits, I assume.
Yep, looks like it. Invalidation from Switcheroo. But he does have, it must have been early on because he's got a lot of ERS, so he's throwing it round to see if he can get anywhere, but I don't think he's going to have time. Yeah, no. Switcheroo is done. There's a Ferrari coming round pretty fast.
Yeah, both of them
Nitro.
Yep, Nitro.
Yeah, it'll be next to the line.
Just behind as well.
And then Alfa Romeo possibly behind Nitro. Nitro. Oh, he does improve. P12. A 0.8 improvement from him there. Alfa Romeo up to the line. Couldn't tell who it was, but no improvement. Jimsky. No improvement either.
Seagull is currently 7 thousandths up after Sector 1.
Perry's going to be next across the line, and he's 2.5 tenths up.
Oh, Jimsky 1.5 tenths, Seagull 1.5 tenths down, so not really looking great for catching Jimsky unless he gets a stellar last sector. Who's that ahead of him? Oh, it is Emil's.
Right.
He is
Does
getting the toe.
improve this time.
Seagull. Yeah, just gets a nice little toe there down the back straight.
Janneman.
Just
Possibly up to the line next.
oh yeah. Can improve as well with just a minor improvement.
Does. He goes ahead of Hussein.
Seagull invalidated. But he was 6,000 down as well, so it wouldn't have mattered. Kingsman did slightly improve, I think. And with that, I think we're through.
Yeah, we do have our grid, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, very, very tight qualifying behind Rapid, of course.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest gap is really between Seagull and Janneman in the front.
You're looking at a second between P2 and P15 there.
Yeah.
And 5/10 between P2 and P9, so yeah, it was a very hotly contested qualifying there, but to no one's surprise, if you've been around long enough and watched any Sunday's Esport elite races, then Rapid topping the table in qualifying is not particularly surprising.
Well. It is Rapid, Jimsky, Seagull, as so often, and then followed by Janneman and Hussein, as so often. Emil's like more and more cementing his place there in the top few guys, and Kingsman, honestly, yeah, I don't know, man. He's been coming out of Challenger as the Challenger tier champion last season and really been up to speed immediately. Switcheroo, newcomer here in P8. And then we have Marcia in the second AT and Lauda in the second Aston Martin. Good results for their teams, respectively. Oh, yeah. Formation Lab is on, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna have that in a bit. Could give us a little bit of time to maybe think about strategies that apply here. Honestly, Challenger tier has been all over the place with medium hard, hard soft, medium soft. Like we pretty much had everything.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is gonna be the same for Elite. If I'm not mistaken, yes, the tire life is like scaled down for shorter distance. But it's scaled a little bit less than the race does.
Yeah, of course.
The longer the race goes, the more potential pit stops you have to make.
Yeah, because I mean, when I was practicing anyway, the mediums felt really good, and I actually maybe could have extended them a lap or two longer. When I was out, and I made them go, I think about 11 laps. In what was a 20 lap race, and the softs felt really, really nice in that second, stint. I caught up to the pack quite nicely, and very much there was an opportunity to maybe pass a couple more drivers than I did. But Rapids on the mediums, Jimsky's on the hards, Seagull on the hards, Janneman's on the hards, Hussein hards, Meals hards, Kingsman's mediums, Switcheroo mediums. It's going to be mediums for Marcel Jan, hards for Lauda.
Yantra the only one here really starting on softs. Everybody else relatively evenly split on medium and hards, I would say. Maybe slightly more hards.
Yes, it looks like it.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Rapid, of course, has a big advantage here in the early race on his mediums. Everybody behind him, up until Kingsman, starts on hards. And yeah, for Kingsman, Switcheroo, Marseillan, it's just about who can get through the hard tire wall, I guess, the quickest. They have an advantage technically, but I don't know if they have the pace to really like compete with the top guys, even if they are on the slightly better tire. Be curious or interesting to find out. So the game says medium soft or hard medium. It did actually say the same thing in Challenger. Was it even a stretch to go soft medium? Because it did look like you were at least forced to drive the softs for a bit longer than you would have liked.
I think I would have liked to maybe have gone mediums, probably a lap or two more, but I did just feel like I was losing that little bit too much time, because I think the indicator that I had, especially I realized it as I came back out the pits, was Mikey had gone into the pit maybe just a second or two ahead of me, and then by the time I came out the pit, I'd lost. Like a lap later, I'd lost about 3 seconds to him. So the mediums do end up dropping off quite rapidly. They feel good for a while, but once they hit that point, it is a steep cliff down.
Yeah.
Whereas the softs, they ran for the 9 laps. It probably did help that we had that virtual safety car even just briefly. But they ran quite nicely, and I never felt at any point, even though, as you could see, I was, battling with a few guys when I got onto those softs. I was, having to fight my way back up through the pack.
Well. It is lights out though, and we're going away. Let's see what Rapid can do on the start. I think he gets away very nicely on his medium tire there. A little bit of a positional change there. There is Jannemann on the inside, trying to make a move on Jimsky already, but he can't quite make it stick here. He's going to have the outside line for the second part of this turn. He's going to lose the position to Seagull again. Kingsman is already through. Hussein and Emils attacking further up now, but Hussein with a counter there, locking really with Jannemann, and
Hussein.
there's the spin.
Come back on track.
Yeah, that is a huge little pile up there, but I think nobody really got any significant damage, right?
No, it didn't look like there was any significant damage, but it was just a shame that, Hussein lost it.
Yeah.
Before he could get his car back under control, came back on track and kind of boxed Emils in, who's come off.
Oh my god, and there is an Aston in the wall, Lauda with the DNF.
Lauda.
There must have been some sort of contact. This did not look natural, and we might have a safety car here, but honestly the race might just go on. Yeah, the car already despawned. Really unfortunate for the Aston Martins here in the early stages of the race there. I don't know, it just looked mega scuffed like that. Sometimes the nose gets stuck under the rear light if you're like following very closely, and it looked like Hussein just snapped out of that towards the side and then just collided, got kicked onto the gravel, and unfortunately spun right onto the apex. So yeah,
I think it was Kingsman that he appeared to bounce off of. It wasn't McLaren, and I don't think Cherry was as far up the grid to have been the one to have contact
it must have
with.
been.
So it must have been Kingsman that he's bounced off of, who doesn't appear to be carrying any visual damage, but of course you only really see it on the front and the rear wing, so he may have some sort of side pod issue, possibly.
I don't know. I don't think the contact was like mega heavy. So it looked like it did go okay, at least like in the damage side of things. But of course, yeah, it's been quite a horrible start for some of the hard runners in front there. Hussein and Emils all the way down in 16 and 17. Jannemann is down to 8th.
Had to pit as well, so clearly he was in some involvement, because he did make some he did place relatively well in qualifying. I think it was P11. I think he was by the end of that session or somewhere around there. So he must have got caught up in some ways with that Hussein incident as well. And you'd imagine with how far back he is, at the very least, has had to change his front wing.
I know that Nitro was actually full stopping on that incident, so I think he crashed into something and just had to stand there for a bit. Let's see, Jannemann is getting very close to Mr. Mouse here, who's locking up. Slight contact as well. Game now saying hard medium or medium medium hard is the strat. I mean, Rapid is just enjoying his time here in P1. Switcheroo seems to be having quite decent race pace here on the mediums as well. Might be able to attack with DRS now. Yannemann is trying to go up the inside of Mr. Mouse here. The last week's race winner, I think. On his debut. Well, also through the time penalty mess that happened. Maybe he was winning on track and then time penalties demoted him. I can't quite remember right now. He was very far up though, so... yeah, he's been overtaken by Yannemann now, but will surely try to cling onto the AlphaTauri here to get further up the ranks.
Do now have DRS, of course, and we are going to see the first instance of it here. It'll be Switcheroo with DRS on Seagull, and a bit of a train farming behind Mr. Mouse all the way down to Furious Stoney. And the only other person to have would be Gearshift Guru, Mr. Janier. We might see some overtakes happen just into this hairpin down the end.
Yeah, Jenscha's going past Mofa.
Yeah, Mofa, yeah.
And I think Fanta has just made it past Donny as well.
Gearshift did gain 2 places, but he appears to have sent it deep, and Cherry reclaims that place back. Emil back up to P13 following the incident that had him held up and down in what I believe was P17 at one point. And he's now made it up to P12, showing some significant race pace at the moment, but how hard is he punishing those hard tires to get there is a question that is yet to be answered.
Hussein is just stuck in that group there, very far down, and that just, I don't know, it looks like he has so much more pace, but he just can't make it past. He has now managed to get past Monsieur Genier here, who is not going for the move up the inside, rightfully so there. This turn just a little bit too tight to send one there. So yeah, Hussein up to 16th. Emils has managed to get back up to 12th in the meantime. Yannemann has closed up to Kingsman in P6 here, so he might be getting closer to the top group
looking
there.
For a move down the inside of Seagull here, and Seagull right on the back of Jimsky. Sticks it down the inside, tries to force Seagull around wide, but ends up taking that almost too tight, and Seagull with the better exit manages to keep his place as DRS on the back of Jimsky.
Yeah, another try might be coming through there. It was definitely a bit of a mega lockup for both of them there, costing them some time into the hairpin. So super close here in these snaky little turns there in the start. Depending on what line you take, on where you apply the throttle a little bit more harder, it can be very easy to just rear end each other. So yes, always scary to go through there so close together.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where if you are too wide, your racing line, not obviously the racing line, but the path that you're taking, as you come round that long right-hander and into the quick left, it's like your paths cross over. If you've taken, the right-hander tighter, then it's going to be a very quick into the left. Where if you've taken that first one wider, then you're almost like meeting at a perpendicular angle in that one. It's one that you've really, really got to be careful as you navigate through and try to make a pass.
There has been a spin apparently. Tiensha causing the yellow flag back there, rejoining onto the track now as Yannemann further down the straight takes P6 from Kingsman and is now behind his teammate there. Marcellian here on the different strategy, of course, with the medium tire, but Yannemann seems to have good pace on these hards anyways. He has been able to overtake Kingsman and Mr. Mouse without too much trouble, even though it took him a lap or two to get past Kingsman. Now back up to P6 and slowly but steadily recovering from his earlier incident. I think he spun as well, right? Where Hussein spun.
Emil.
Janneman.
Sorry. Yeah, Janneman. Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. I feel like he was in some ways involved, but I don't think he was affected as much.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we know Janneman's pace. We know that he qualifies well as well. So I do think he got caught up in a little bit, but I'm struggling to remember. It's Emil and Hussein that I really and Nitro that I really took note of at the time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, looking at that is Donny in the wall and resetting on track as far as the minimap indicates.
Yeah, no front wing there.
Virtual safety car. Is that an opportunity to hit already for some people?
And Mr. Junior gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC.
That is not cool. Pit lane very long here, costing you a lot of time. I think this must be one of the longest pit stops, right? You lose like 28 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of time. I mean, I was running quite far back at the start, and in that first wave of pit stops, all of a sudden I'd find myself, I think, P5 or P6. So it's a long old pit lane there, and it's very, very unfortunate for Mr. Junior, who opts not to do it now, but he will, of course, be limited by time, and he'll only be given, I think, about 5 laps, I believe.
3.
3 laps, sorry, yeah. Right enough, to complete that drive-through penalty, or he will be disqualified.
It has happened last week. Oh my god, Mr. Mouse with another drive-through as well for speeding under VSC. Coming out of the pits even, I think. Or is he in the pits? I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, Donny is in the pits right now.
Yeah, he was just, I assume, trying to make some sort of headway to catch up to the back of the pack. All of a sudden, Nitro is in some ways back in this race for a competitive run at things more than anything else. He's all the way down in P18, but Donny now in his sights at the very least gives him something to aim for in the next 20 or so laps. We are back under normal racing conditions. Jimsky, Siegel, and Switcheroo still battling for that P2 position. Front 2 holding on to the hard tires, Switcheroo on the mediums, and you would have thought he'd get past by now, because those mediums will start to suffer a little bit more than the hards. It'll be easier for Jimsky and Siegel to hold him off.
I think they gained a little bit on Rapid due to the VSC ending. Fortunate timing. Jimsky and Siegel, I think they were like more than 2 seconds away before, but now 1.4. Yeah, looks like it helped them a little bit.
Mr. Junior coming through for his drive-through penalty.
Yep.
And Mr. Mouse, they're both serving theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be way back there with Donny and Nitro then in a bit, I guess. As of right now, I think Emils could be making a move soon here, especially if Mofa loses DRS to Fanta.
He's just about sneaking back into it, but by that detection zone, will he still have it? Yeah. Oh, there's a little snap there from Mofawa. Just coming round out of that left-hander and into the right. He is going to get DRS. Maybe, fortunately so, but Emil is right on his tail. And may think about a move down the inside. It's not going to happen, Emil.
So hard.
Knows better.
so hard to overtake just with like several cars in a DRS train, even though the straight is so long, but all the speed he gains, Mofawa is gaining too. Might have another chance here, but I think start-finish straight is generally a little bit harder to overtake.
Yeah. It's just giving you a sort of launch pad for these next two turns. Emil goes down the inside of turn 1, catches a little bit too much curb, loses a little bit too much speed, and Mofawa does stay ahead for the time being. Again, this battle for P2 has got a little bit interesting. Seagull slipping up above Jimsky.
Yeah, they have lost a bit of time to Rapid again. Now back to about 2 seconds. Comfortable cushion for Rapid here. I'm not entirely sure who of the AlphaTauris is quicker right now. Given that they stay in this order, it's probably safe to say that at this point Marcellion on the mediums still has the advantage. They're losing out about 4/10 per lap to this group from 2nd to 4th.
Marcellion swings out wide to allow Janneman through, who will, you'd imagine, be pitting later.
Yeah.
And if you can get him through, get him, caught back up to that front pack. Kingsman in a world of his own here. 4 seconds behind, 6 seconds ahead, and just having a rapid type race, but from P7.
Yeah, sorta. Hussein has made it up to P10 again.
Mofawa into the pits as well.
Oh yeah, probably, well, that was the overtake that I thought I've seen, but it was really just Mofawa into pits here. But yeah, Hussein now on track right behind Emils, as it was after the incident, and now in 9th and 10th. Yeah, there's still like a good bit away, I guess. Emils has Fanta immediately ahead, but then it's just 6 seconds to Kingsman, another 4 for the 2 AlphaTauris, and then another 5 to the top. It's 15 seconds really that they haven't really recovered yet. Of course, it's gonna be hard to recover by the pace the top guys are going. Let's see. Switcheroo could be in for taking a P3 here. At least for now. Be moving a little bit to the inside and bending that. Switcheroo really like breaking onto the grass almost. Almost lost the car there. Has the tire advantage, I guess, for now. In later stages of the race, of course. That's gonna be Seagull's and Jimsky's advantage on the mediums. So it's probably safe to say that mediums are gonna be around 11-12 laps and hards like 16-ish.
It's in the background of just still on the meal. I've just seen Cherry save a wee snap coming out the final corner there, just down in the distance. With that sort of swap, I see Marcellian's back in front of Janneman now.
Yeah, I don't know. They maybe have tried and have. I'm not sure if they thought they were, but they might not be. But yeah, maybe they just tried having Janneman in front and weren't really quicker. I mean, they have lost another second or so.
Kingsman looks to have made a mistake at some point because he's lost about a second either way.
Yeah.
I think the AlphaTauris, all things considered, and looking at the teams in front of them, constructors-wise anyway, and be quite satisfied with where they are at the moment.
Yeah, what is that? That's like 10 and 8 points. Wait, 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8. Yeah, so 18 points, I guess, is about as good as what Seagull is getting.
Yep. Red Bull set to gain 20 as it stands. 25 for Mercedes. And it sort of dwindles off from there. So AlphaTauri would be the third highest scorers with the way things stand.
So Emil's, I don't know, it feels like he has been eyeing with Fantas Rare for quite a while, but these two of course know each other very well from the Challenger tier. I've been racing there together. So yeah, not quite much of a move happening here. Tianche only now pitting, 11 laps on the softs there. Goes to the hards, is probably gonna go to the end on these as well.
You very much imagine so, but it does leave her plumb last of the remaining runners. Of course, we lost Lauda relatively early on.
Yeah, lap 1, I think. So yeah, I mean, Tianche is probably gonna catch some people who will be pitting at some point again, but for now, very much alone further back. The AlphaTauris have swapped positions once more. It is now a 6-second gap to Switcheroo. Gap is just continuously growing here. I think at this point we might be at the point where the mediums are just not better than the hards anymore. Kingsman even going into the pits as the first of the medium runners. Probably gonna take that hard tire as well. Cherry, first corner cut time penalty we've seen today at all.
Yeah.
There were none in Challenger, so
what league is this?
yeah, right. Elite is the real Challenger. But yeah, what else there to watch? Rimsky, Seagull, Switcheroo have been running like that pretty much for the entirety of the race. Niels and Fanta have just been chilling together for the last 10 laps or so as well.
Yeah.
Marcian really dropping behind Janeman now. I assume there's going to be a pit stop coming by the end of this lap here.
You would think so, just on that sort of medium tires, he might look to change things up, and it might even just give him a little bit of clear air, to be honest, to really get his head down, make use of the tires, and not shred them up too much.
I think right now he's profiting from the slipstream. He's used a lot of ERS to get back into the DRS of Janeman. And to not lose that extra time. Switcheroo now in the pits. I think, yep, Marcian is going as well. And that makes Rapid the last of the top runners who is still on the mediums. Gearshift Guru, actually the other one who is still out on the mediums. And he's gonna stay out another lap as well. The Mercedes on a similar strategy apparently. So from what I've heard, undercut pretty OP on this track.
Yeah.
So,
it certainly seemed like it.
Yeah.
I fell victim to that one at times.
Might just be good to pit a little earlier.
Yeah, but we are halfway through this race now, and still a lot of runners on the tire that they started with.
Yeah, I mean
about half the grid, in fact.
Yeah. Everyone who started on hard, even there was no major safety car thing, still running, of course. It's gonna be very interesting as soon as they come in. I feel like the window for hards is like a little bit wider. You can extend a little bit more, or like go in as early, I think, as in well, the next 1 to 3 laps, I guess, for the mediums. Also interesting is going to be the long distance battle. Rapid is staying out, and Switcheroo was only 2 seconds behind. So,
Emil finally got past Fanta.
I was about to say, and we missed it.
Yeah, just down the inside of that hairpin, following the long DRS straight, finally makes its way through. And they've ended up gaining a bit of company as a result in the form of Hussein and Switcheroo.
Yeah,
But
Switcheroo, of
probably
course.
good timing that Emil got through when he did.
Switcheroo has to go through ASAP, of course, for his undercut against Rapid. And so far, he has not really been held up by these guys, but now is do or die for him.
It's
Hussein
past
is
Hussein
just
already.
backing out there, knows that he has enough to defend for. And I think Fanta and Emil's likely fall victims on the back straight as well, if earlier. The grip difference is clearly visible. Switcheroo has so much more speed here. Probably trying to overtake the Haas on this straight already, so you just get by with DRS past Emil's here. And this was probably, honestly, like, best possible scenario for Switcheroo. He didn't lose so much time there on the overtakes. He's even gonna get a nice little DRS activation out of this in the end.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, incredible first lap on those. Well, first full lap, I suppose, on those hard tires. Emil is almost looking to come back.
Rapid could be going for the softs here.
I reckon so. He's lost about 2/10s, 4/10s now. I think the tires are definitely starting to lose their grip. I did notice coming out of the hairpin about a lap ago, just from that third sector, he did seem to lose it a little bit. So they're not
how
quite
much
as
time do you
grippy.
lose again in pits? Because it's only 22 seconds here. If it was really like 28 or something, what we said earlier, not sure if it is really that. But like then Rapid has a lot to do on his softs.
Yeah, because Switcheroo has made some significant gains forward. Jimsky coming out in P5 is also a very good first stint from him on those hard tires.
Only got Emil's ahead of him, who he's gonna make light work off on the back straight. So just gonna get some nice DRS out of it as well, and then he's almost at Switcheroo's rear again, which is pretty much just where you want to be now with the tire advantage. Don't pass the inside here. Doesn't even wait the slipstream on the straight. Just goes. Superior traction there. And both Rapid and Seagull coming in for their last stop now. What will they pit for? I can imagine Seagull goes for the mediums. I do think, yeah, Seagull mediums, and Rapid is actually getting the softs here for finals. Bold strategy by the leading car, I guess. Nobody else went for the soft medium.
Jimsky. Oh, he is going to get ahead of Rapid. Rapid try to hold it down the inside. Oh, it's going to be close. And Jimsky just edges him out. Yeah. Forces him onto that.
Yeah, a little
wide
bit
part of the track.
Yeah. Very tight there with the top guys, and now we have a wild mix of tires as well. Of course, Rapid has to be mindful at least a little bit of the tire. 12 laps, I think, is what it's going to be in the end on the softs. Well possible, but the last few laps are going to be quite, ass. And the medium runners here, Jimsky, Seagull, can of course push way more freely. With their tires. Switcheroo in P1 right now. I think he's gonna fall soon as well, as both Jimsky and Rapid have DRS here.
And you would imagine that those hards will come good towards the end of the lap if you can, keep in that fight. But you do favour the 3 cars behind him as it stands to get ahead. Still, Rapid's got a lot of work to do to stay on those softs for as long as he's planned to.
Well, Jimsky with the fastest lap here on his second lap. I imagine, if Rapid is let free, similar things would follow from him. Rear-ending Jimsky here once. And taking a little bit more speed through that turn, going around Jimsky on the outside.
Oh, very nice move from Rapid.
Yeah, Jimsky just has to slot in behind immediately now. It's so scary if Rapid can come through and Jimsky can't immediately follow. Big exit coming out by Rapid. Jimsky trying to go through, but pushed a bit wide as well. Switcher with the DC, it seems. And, well, I'm gonna just toss him another invite real quick. But that really comes at an unfortunate... I still don't see him.
He stands to lose about 3 places there.
Maybe I just don't have him added, honestly. Well, that's pain, because I didn't invite him to this session either. Well. Yeah, that's pain for him, of course, but at least these few positions he would have lost regardless.
It's maybe a little bit earlier than you'd have imagined.
Yeah, it's just a matter about how what's happening. I don't know, my guy. Like, oh wait, I'll grab my phone. Trying to get him in again. So, while I am trying to establish a contact, I get back here, Yanama. Switcheroo.
Yep.
The top 3 far away in the distance for Yaneman still. I mean, given that he has found himself in P10 or something by the end of the first lap, quite a decent recovery drive, as so for Hussein and Emils.
Yeah, P8 and P9 on new mediums, and there's the fastest lap from Rapid as well.
Oh, there we go.
1:33 on the board with soft tires and less fuel than he ultimately started with.
Zack Switcheroo re-invited, so hopefully, I mean, yeah, damage is done, I guess, for his top 3 aspirations, but there's still good points up for grabs. Could have probably re-invited quicker if... I don't even know how... He did race last week. Don't know how he got in without having me added, but hey. Yeah. Moves right now, Tianxia, maybe? Tianxia is pushing onto Gearshift Guru here. I'll give another invite out. And what do we have up here? I mean, Rapid at this point seems almost clear. He has the better tires, unless he drives them to the ground, which is not a thing that Rapid usually does. I think he's quite decent on handling tires. Maybe not top of the league in that regard, but definitely good enough to keep them alive until the end of the race.
Switcheroos now appears to have lost out on Marcel Jan as well. And Donny and Mr. Mouse having just come in recently, both on soft tires. but just a couple gaps forming. Not it won't be an awful lot of DRS as the next few laps go on. It'll be Seagull on Jimsky, and they're gonna have to get past a back marker or two here very shortly in Donny, but Rapid of course having to navigate that as well. The only other person in any form of DRS range at this point is Tiancha on Gear Shift Guru.
Yeah.
And they've got nearly a full lap before they get round to that sort of movement. Seagull now looking for the DRS. He is closing in on Jimsky. He's going to make it look easy. Jimsky not going to fight that one. He can take the battle to another part of the track. He will get the return of DRS back on Seagull as they come
Seagull,
down the pit straight.
Seagull just about out of range of the DRS for Rapid, who has lost a sizable amount of time there. I think almost like 0.8 or something. As he did also majorly lock up into the hairpin. And Seagull all of a sudden now back in DRS range if he can keep this distance throughout the entire lap. Not sure if Donny's going to be an issue there. He's on fresh softs as well. So he should be sort of quick, but of course Rapid is Rapid on alright softs still. Maybe this is just going to give Rapid an easy out for one lap here. If he gets DRS down the back straight from the back marker.
It's also a very viable possibility coming in here. It looks like the gap might just be too much. I can't really tell, but I suppose I'll have to go on board with Rapid and find out. I just think it's a little bit too far away. I don't think he will have got it. So he will be at Seagull's mercy here coming to the DRS. Yeah, he is. There's no DRS here for Rapid, but there's plenty for Seagull, and Jimsky's got to keep pace. Seagull going down the inside, and again makes it look easy. A little bit of a lock-up from himself.
It looks very... I don't know if Rapid has like any like minor damage that we don't see or something, because he's just bleeding time, or he has bled time in this past lap.
I think maybe even just a lockup has done a number on his tires. He's still keeping touch, but I wonder if he's just trying to nurse the tires a little bit longer and waiting another couple laps before really pushing away again. But time will tell in that regard, and still these back markers ahead. Still very, very close, but Jimsky's right within touching distance as well. Hussein has caught up to the back of Kingsman, so we may well see a move come of that in not too much longer of a time. And Tiancha did eventually get past Gear Shift Guru as well.
Yeah, and Seagull just seems... I mean, in the middle sector, of course, it's easier to get away a little bit. You have the dirty air disadvantage. Hindering you than helping you compared to the straights, the slipstream. Oh, there is a yellow flag as Donny has spun out into the wall. I mean, you can make way for the leaders that way as well, I guess.
Some way to do it.
But yeah. Super close together here, the three. I don't know if this is just a game not working properly on the lockup display, but they either lock up into every hairpin, or it's just not working.
I think it is the game, because it seems like it's every single hairpin. I was thinking that myself in the Challenger race. I think it was maybe Mikey quite a lot. I was saying, he's locking up a lot, but I do just think it's a bug with the hairpins, as Donny is quite simply had enough. He's gone to the pits. He's not making any more headway. He's down a lap and ultimately retired.
Yep. So top three. Super close together for a while now. I really wonder if Rapid is just playing a game here with the others. like that he willingly lost his 2-second lead because he realized that if he pushes so much, softs are not gonna hold up, and he is instead trying to build some DRS up for the fight that is inevitably gonna come in the last few laps. But yeah, doesn't really seem like he is in for a move onto Seagull here. Seagull not necessarily using much ERS to defend that though, neither. Maybe? I'm not here yet.
I really do wonder if he is just biding his time. As Hussein has made that pass on Kingsman ahead of the DRS zone, so Kingsman will get that back. I'm not sure he'll make the pass on Hussein on older hard tires, but helps keep
side
him
by side
close.
here, Jimsky and Rapid into turns 1 and 2.
Rapid just
Jimsky
having the
around
better
the
line. Oh,
outside.
there is contact there. It looked like Rapid did just snap slightly right as his rear right comes together with Jimsky's front left, but they've both come away unscathed, and Rapid does hold his position, but this battle is really going to go right down to the final lap.
Yeah, I mean, these two have had it in the earlier stages of the race in the first few turns as well. Going side by side there very aggressively, but yeah. Apparently, keep on doing that. Oh my. Jannemann has really just picked up the pace on the medium tire compared to Marseille. 9-second gap between.
Yeah, near 10. Marcelian just dropping back a little bit, switcheroo. I don't know that he's back in the session, but at the very least, if he's not, then the AI's caught up about a second. Rapid looking for the move on Seagull. They're side by side going into that hairpin. Just holds his line. He has to take it tighter. He does get barely ahead of Seagull. And Seagull will get DRS back. Jimsky again keeping himself in this fight. Jimsky might well get Seagull here instead. There's no line here for Seagull to go down, and they maintain all their positions. And the swap has happened again, and Rapid, with just 3 laps to go, leads on the soft tyres.
All of them
And
are
he
relatively
built a gap.
starved on ERS here, so like it's very even battlegrounds for the 3 here. Anybody could still take the win if they just chose to go at the right time, I think. Well, I'm not sure if you want to risk it, but I'd guess P2 is the place to be in for the last lap, and that is what each of these 3 know as well, and what they're trying to set up. Right now, Seagull in prime position then for his chance at the win. I wonder if they're gonna swap around the positions one more time. Or if he's just gonna chill behind Rapid as Rapid did before behind Seagull in the few laps coming up to this one. Let's see. Don't think he's close enough for a move. He's briefly used the overtake, and he is actually just gonna go past here. Parks his car on the apex, and oh my god!
No, Jimsky and Rapid come together, and Jimsky's gonna get the benefit of those two. But what did we say in qualifying? Seagull keeps it clean, and Jannemann.
Yeah, he's just
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He's just swooped through.
Oh,
and,
Rapid will have words
Yep.
to say about that one.
Yeah, that ain't great from Jimsky, and that has pretty much well, settled the question about the race winner, unless Seagull makes some major mistake here.
I mean, he would have to do a DNF
worthy
mistake. He'd have to completely wreck the car to lose out here. And Jannemann, who is just kept a clean running, all of a sudden finds himself in second place.
Yeah, as so often, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of come together for him in the end here. Of course, Rapid is now gonna have an even worse time. His softs are already dead, and like he had to clean them again after being spun onto the grass, and yeah, it's a bit tight. Switcheroo and Marcelian here will probably not be a danger for him, but Switcheroo might be eyeing for that P5 still.
He just dropping back off of Yaneman there as well, so
Jimsky completely starved from ERS as well. Like to see if he got front wing damage out of this one. Does not look like it. But he can't really keep up with Yaneman apparently. As we enter the last lap, Seagull is far ahead. He's only just going to be running into the Alpines and and Nitro, but I don't actually think he's even getting there before the race ends. So no backmarker business for him as well.
Victory has just kept himself close here as well. Oh, Emil and Kingsman having a battle going into turn 1. Kingsman just about staying ahead on those hard tires with Emil on the mediums. Switcheroo staying very close to the back of Marcel Jan here. Emil as well look to do the same.
There's a bunch of spots where overtakes could still happen here. I think for P5, for P2 even though Jimsky is now quite a bit down off Yaneman.
Yeah, even he will get DRS, but it's not going to be enough. He would genuinely have to send in what would arguably be a really risky and quite possibly dangerous lunge down the inside of Yaneman here, and it's simply not going to happen. He's going to be too far back.
He doesn't have energy neither, so like he doesn't have the power in the tank right now to still make a move. Seagull is going to cross the line in first here.
Switcheroo should get the move done here on Marcel Jan. In fact, it's in plenty of clear air before that turn, but oh, he nearly loses it.
Yeah.
Coming out. Maybe, just maybe Marcel Jan has a chance to fight back. He's not going to get it, and Switcheroo with a good recovery to what was a very unfortunate disconnect.
Oh my. Rapid could have almost lost some more there even. Emils has made it past Kingsman in the end as well. But Rapid ran out of fuel even by the end of it. And yeah.
Tiancha, the only one that's really going to be close to anyone in Mr. Mouse is just going to be too far off, so the rest of the grid will finish more or less as it looks. The back three. Oh! Mofawa, I think, was trying to push for a fastest lap and sent it a little too hard. Nitro and Mr. Janier do end up together.
Yeah, they might have one more chance here. But I think Nitro just had a better exit. Janier here. Yeah, no more ERS in the tank at all. It's just way too far back for the move. And yeah, he's just gonna go home in 16th. Ofawa in 17th here, coming in last. And yeah, honestly, like thrilling Chinese GP here, even for the elite here. Driver of the day, Yaneman here. I think for once this is a pick I could agree on. Very nice recovery from P10 or something after lap 1. I think he was spun in the Hussein incident as well. Hussein, of course, I think made it up to P5 as well from P16 or something. Yeah. We're gonna see. For now, it is Seagull, Yaneman, Jimsky on the podium here. Rapid ultimately coming home in 4th after the incident in the penultimate lap. And yeah, a nice W for the Red Bull driver, former champion. Yeah, really continuing right where he stopped.
Again, just another one where he just keeps his nose out of trouble and seems to benefit. He was leading out of that turn anyway, and it could really have gone to any of the three drivers between Jimsky, Rapid, and Seagull, but contact between the two, in which to me looked like was Jimsky's fault. But we'll of course have a closer look at that as the week goes on.
Yeah.
Just leave Seagull with what was a comfortable final 2 laps.
Yeah. Rapid also with the fastest lap switcheroo, ultimately passed Martin there for P5. Yeah, Hussein only getting back to 7th, but still, I think, pretty much last after the first lap. Very nice recovery here. Yeah, if anything, a good performance. So, I think that marks the end of tonight's stream. Tonight's coverage of the 2 races. Next week is Easter, so we're gonna head into break. Afterwards, we're gonna be back in Jeddah, if I'm not mistaken. One of my favorite tracks to watch, and definitely gonna be a thrilling race there as well. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. See you then. And it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane, and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions.